Hey there, crew. It's Mark from Men Who Bullet. Thanks for hanging out with me today as I set up my weekly spread inside of my B5 Archer and Olive notebook. Really excited for this week because one of my followers on Instagram gave me a great new way to refer to my style. She said, Mark, I believe that your style is minimal twist. And I loved that. She's like, you're minimal in your general approach, but then you'll always have this really fun twist to your pages. So I might be stealing that from her. I will give her credit in my stories this week as we go through this as well. So I really like that term because it's exactly how I feel like I design. So what I'll do this week is in the beginning part, we'll talk about the minimalist approach and a general layout to your page. So if you are a minimalist or you don't want to add a lot of extras to your page, you can totally go off of the first part of this video, which would be setting up the general minimalist layout. But then if you want that twist, you want to add in the inks, the stickers, or any kind of that extra fun decoration, we're going to have that at the end after we set up what this generally looks like. So I'm really excited for this week as I use this minimal twist approach. I think it's fantastic. So that shout out goes out to Erica. She sent me the message on Instagram and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to actually be using my Book, which is this really cool modular and reusable notebook from Patbook. You can get the link in the descriptions below if you're interested in something like this. My Rocketbook that I usually use currently is completely filled up. I need to take the time to capture all of those different layouts and things that we've done just to hold on to them for future use. And I just haven't wiped that one clean yet. So this works in a very similar way. You have your pen, you have your reusable kind of like plastic paper, I like to call it. And this is how we're going to roll this week. So what we're doing is a double page spread. So I'm just going to do a very light sketch, essentially, of what we're looking at here. So we've got a double page spread. Over here on the left-hand side of the page, I'm really going to focus on my normal weekly overview. So on the far left, I'm going to be breaking this up into 5 individual rectangles. I'll talk about the sizing in just a second. These are not to scale. All right, so each one of these, I'm going to start from the bottom and count up, is going to be 7 squares. I'll show you where I got this from in just a moment in the cheat sheet. But then over here on the right-hand side, I'm just going to be really just focusing on breaking these down into 2 columns. Leaving space here at the top, I'm going to be doing my header. This will include probably month and some dates. And then over here on the right-hand side, I actually have a lot of different stationery materials here. I'm going to be using this for a quote that I gather just around productivity and something I'm looking forward to adding in a bit more where I can. Now, if you're not open to doing any type of extra quotes or anything like that, you could certainly use this space for different types of trackers if you were interested in it. So you could do kind of your sleep trackers as we've done. If you wanted to do some habits or anything like that, this is a great place to use up in this top section here. So really we're breaking this down into almost thirds, 1/3 at the top for headers and trackers, and then the bottom 2/3 of your page is going to be for the functional part of what we're doing here. Now, in the back of my bullet journal, I've been adding my cheat sheets. So over here on the left-hand side, the way that I got my page spacing here is I basically took my 5-row grid that I have. And this one over here on the right-hand side starts at 3, then 7 squares with 2 in between. I just condensed all of these so that they're all just touching. It's a lot easier to do it that way. So I use the same spacing 7 all the way up, and then I have the rest of my space here. If you wanted to go the full height of your page, you could do that as well. These would be 9 squares touching all the way up, and you can leave 1 space at the top or 1 space at the bottom if you wanted to. Now for the columns, I just used my 2-column grid that I have here, which is 15 squares with 2 in between and another 15. So I did that for both sides over here. This is 15 wide. We have a 2 square gap and then another 15. And then I'll be doing the same exact thing over on this side. And I'm just matching up the height of the top of this line all the way across as I'm going through. So that is the minimal approach. We'll be penciling that in just a moment. Now let's talk about the twist, which is all the fun stationery that we're going to be using this week. Let's start off with all the writing instruments first. So as always, I'm a big fan of pencils first. So I have the Leuchtturm Duragriffel. I'm trying to work on my pronunciation. I used to say Leuchtturm. Well, I used to say Leuchtturm, and then I started saying Leuchtturm because that's how I heard it pronounced. And then someone recently, when I was talking about the name of this, messaged me and said it is Leuch and then kind of like term. So Leuchtturm is how I'm going to say it. I'm probably off a little bit, but this is their Duragriffel. perhaps pronouncing that incorrect as well. The number 2, appropriate name because this is a mechanical pencil. You twist the end and it advances your lead over on the top here, which I absolutely loved. For pens, I'm going to be using my trusted Faber-Castell. I have 2 different sizes. I have the extra small and the fine. The fine point is a little bit thicker, 0.5 tip. We're going to be using that for all of our main column grids here. And then I'm going to be using the extra small for an outline because I'm really excited this week. If you watch my most recent video that I released earlier this week, I went through my DC Pen Show haul. And in there, I got a lot of ink. So this week, I'm going to start using this one here, which is from Pelikan, which is a highlighter ink. So it's the same type of ink that you would find inside of a regular highlighter, except you can use these with a fountain pen. So I'm excited to be using this. And then another one of the inks that we saw in that video was this Caribbean blue. This is one of the colors that my daughter got for free because she's a kid at a pen show and that's a rare thing. But Monteverde USA gifted this to her, which was fantastic. And now I'm going to be using it for my week as well for a lot of my headers and some other little like quotes. But I'm excited to be using this week because I'm going to use this also for like the headers and then use the extra fine to outline it a little bit because I can see it well, but it's like very bright on the page and I love that. For all my straight lines, I just have my ruler here. Everyone always asks, this is the one from Archer and Olive. This was inside of a subscription box. They never actually released this one publicly. It has definitely seen its day as I've been using it for a long time, but I really only use this edge of it. It's a nice thick one, but you can use any type of ruler if you want to get your straight lines. Now, for some of the extra fun on here for the lettering with the inks, I'm actually going to be using the pen that we also saw in that video. This is one of the glass pens. It's a dip pen. I really love it. I love fountain pens and I love calligraphy pens, but I've fallen in love with the glass pens because it's really easy. You just dip it in the ink, you write with it. It holds all of the ink inside these little grooves here. And when you're done, you just dip it in some water and wipe it off and it's clean. So I love it. It's fantastic. I feel like it's a lot easier than some of the others. And you just use it like a regular pen. So we've got this over here. We'll be using that for the inks. Now, I do have some stamps that I'm going to be using this week and some stickers as well. I wanted to go with the end of summer, but still summer vibe. So I have these here from Heidi Swaps. You'll see a big old fat Monstera up here. I'll be using that in the top here for the headers. And then going down the page, I have more stickers, just all these stickers and stickers and stickers. This is from one of the more recent Archer and Olive subscription boxes that had all of these flake stickers. So you'll see a lot of different really cool tropical plants. And we'll be using those over here too. But first, before we get into all of those things, let's go ahead and just talk about that minimalist layout here and what we're going to be doing. So for each of the lines over here, I'm just going to be drawing them out in pencil first. Now, I'm doing this for kind of 2 really main reasons. The first is just to make sure that I don't make a mistake. That's why we're using pencil first in the first place. But the other thing is that I'm actually going to overlay some of those stickers over on this side. So as we're going down the page, I'm going to be going over just a little bit. And then I'll actually be going in with my marker or my pen afterwards to fill in around those spaces. So the pencil is helping me just for my general layout, but then it's also going to help me to keep me in line with laying down those stickers as well. I'm doing this very lightly as I'm going through because a lot of these are going to be erased. So if you are using a pencil, just make sure that you are going light with your lines, and then that way you can erase them afterwards. I'm just going to draw on the verticals over here on the right-hand side because that's all I'm going to do with my markers when I come in with them. The other thing I'll be adding to the page, as I mentioned, is some extra fun. So I just did a haul video, which I can't wait to get out for you, but a bunch of really cool stuff from Desk Gems. One of the things I bought was this little corner punch here, and I already had these. These are from Eric Small Things. You know, I absolutely love her, love her, love her. I got these as a part of another order from Cute Things from Japan. Oh my gosh, all of the name dropping today. But we're going to be using these for the quote. And so that's actually going to go over here in this top section. So again, we're doing a lot of overlays this week, all for the sake of having some fun, but that pencil is helpful because I can see where everything is without having to worry about doing anything with my lines just yet. So if you were going with that minimalist approach, this is exactly what you would need to do for yourself this week. You would have your space over here on the left for your overview, and then these chunks here you could use for task notes or whatever you wanted, and then your top space up here for trackers and for headers or anything else. So minimalist here. So now we're going to go ahead in with that twist. So if you wanted to add something extra, this is where we're going to start doing that. Maybe I'll start kind of marking my videos as such. I really like this whole idea. I think it'll keep everything nice and organized. So let's go ahead and first start over on the right-hand side with the note and the quote that we're going to be using this week. So what's cool about this, and if you've ever seen any type of corner cutter before, this is no different. It's just a small handheld one. You just stick it inside of here, it clips off the edge and gives you a really fun rounded edge versus that hard 90-degree edge. And this is not... There we go. Got to stick it in there all the way for it to cut. Now these papers, I have a lot of these papers. Cute Things from Japan always sends them, and I've just been keeping them over here, and I have them all, and I've been trying to figure out how in the hell to use them. So I think the best way to use them is to put them inside of your journals. I don't do any type of memory keeping or anything else, so this will work out for me. So the way that I'm going to attach this, and this is because someone told me to get this, this is just one of those little like glue dealies, a double-sided tape. I'm still getting used to using it myself, but so far they've been nice and easy to use. I think that's enough. Find the center of our page and the top of our page. Ooh, let's put that on the right way. And we'll stick that down over there. Liking that. Over here, let's go ahead and just lay down our stamp real quick, and that way we get that ink out of the way. I still have to do my video. I went through and I organized all of my stamps and labeled them so I can find them easily. We're just going to be using black ink today, and I'm going to try to be careful because after last week's video and having our ink pad drop off of my hand as I was putting everything down. Let's try to be better about it today. Carefully remove it. All right. So this is where we'll put the header for the week. Let's go ahead and add in some of these stickers now. So as I mentioned, I use the pencil here to be able to kind of figure out how I wanted to put these. What's cool is I have a lot of different options because I have a lot of these different stickers as we go through. Now everything here is pretty simple, but this one here has some little extra things on it. So I'm actually just going to cut them off. I will attempt to find them later. I don't know if I'll be able to, but we'll just keep everything looking nice and simple. So I'm going to put these over here on this side of the page here. They are going to overlay a little bit. And then once I have them stuck down, then I'll come back over with the pen, and then I'll just be filling in around these lines here. And same thing over here on this side. I did get some ink over here. How did that happen? I do not know. Now that we have them all down, we'll go back over with the fine Faber-Castell and just fill in those lines. All right, so we have all of our lines down now. So now it's just all of the filling of the outs. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna set up my space here to be able to do this. I always get very nervous with ink and my spaces, so I have a little bit of a setup that I have here. I have this microfiber cloth that I keep with all of my fountain pen stuff just to lay down and have out there. I do use paper towel. I try not to use too much paper towel if I could reuse something like this, but paper towel is also just a lot easier to use sometimes. So I have that off to the side here in case I need it. So for the fountain pen, really excited. So let's go ahead and start with our headers for everything here. So we've got the highlighter ink. I'm excited. Let me just show you. Hopefully I don't make a big old mess. So we're just dipping the pen right inside of there, and then the pen grooves hold on to the ink. And they hold on for a good amount of time. I'm actually always very surprised by it. So let's go ahead and write our month and then this week. Oh, too much ink. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it. Well, we are going to be making that into something on our page. Like a big highlight circle. Who knew we were going to add a new design element before we even got started? Oh my goodness. See, this is why we're always careful, but I'm always learning with inks. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. All right, went a bit heavy with those. The ink for the most part did okay, but obviously where it was extremely heavy, we went through. So maybe don't go as heavy with the ink, Mark, and definitely don't accidentally drip an entire huge blotch on the page. But we move on. We do not let the mistakes hold us back. All right, so we have the days of the week here. I just followed along with the stickers that are here: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I actually don't know if I'm going to do, maybe I will, do the outline, maybe adjust on these two here to see what it looks like. I don't know. Do I want to do black lines? I'm almost wondering if I might want to just do like a light gray outline. Let's do it with light gray. All right, let's just stop there. I think it's for the best if we don't do anything more. I just don't know that I love it necessarily, but it's okay. We're learning as we go along. You're literally in my stream of conscious right now as we're figuring these things out. How to work with fountain pen ink that is also highlighter, how to do other things. We are done. So we're done with this side of the page. So let's go over here and finish ourselves out for today. Over here is just going to be for a lot of tasks and notes. We're not going to do anything else, no other titles. It's just going to kind of continue over. I do a lot of dailies as well and just kind of take in those notes and what's going on. So we'll just continue over to this side of things here. I've actually never written on this before, so we'll also be seeing what that looks like. We're going to take it a lot easier with the dip pen this time. I put way too much on there. So let me maybe take a little bit off of there, tap it on the side of the ink a little bit. So our quote this week: the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing, which is a quote from Walt Disney. And I like Walt. I feel like he knew what was up. And let's use his quote today. Ooh, this paper is not handling that ink. It's like right away it's feathering out, but let's continue. All right, lessons learned. This paper does not do well with fountain pen ink over top of it, which is totally okay. It's not horrible, but it is feathered. All right, so a mess of a weekly, but nonetheless having some fun. So we had the minimalist version, right? The general layout here. And then now we have that twist, which is adding some inks and stickers and other things like that. So if you like to mix medias and pull things together, this could work out well for you. If you like to keep it nice and easy, you can do a very simple layout here. Put the dates, anything else that you want, and then keep your daily running lists inside of here too. So that's all the fun we're going to have today, my friend. So go in to see how useful this actually is, and then we'll check back next week and also over on Instagram throughout the week. So if you would like to have some fun, have fun with me over there, videos, ideas, make sure to check me out over on Instagram at menwhobullet. And as always, if you'd like these ideas and some others, I also have an entire playlist for you of weekly bullet journal setups right here. So make sure you check those out. I'll talk with you later on. Thanks again, crew. I'll see ya.